What's going on, reefers? Blaine here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects in the hobby. We're going to be talking about macroalgae, how we utilize it here in the farm, how you can use it in display systems, and also the different species that we cultivate. I want to stop real quick and mention, if you guys haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button down below. We are nearing 20,000 subscribers. I'm really excited about that milestone. It's been really fun being able to jump onto the channel, build up this community, and I want to say thank you so much for the engagement, all the comments, the likes. It means a lot to me, so continue all the support and thank you so much. Let's go and dive into the different macroalgae strains we have in the farm and how we use them. One, if not the most common way to utilize macroalgae in a reef system is in a refugium space. So this is a space dedicated strictly for the macroalgae to grow out, and it's a way to kind of do multiple different things for us at the farm. The first way is to keep our nutrients in check. We're feeding all the corals. There's a lot of fish in this system too, so we want to make sure we're constantly feeding and providing a lot of food to the tank, so we have to make sure we keep those numbers in check. A macroalgae refugium is a great way to do that. A second way we are utilizing our refugiums in the top shelf farm is to kind of chase after our pH. pH is super important here in the farm, so that way we maintain and keep a nice stable number in our pH. And the refugiums, as they're running on an opposite light schedule from our main displays, you can see that it's on right now, but a lot of them are running on an opposite light schedule. So when everything's shut off here in the display, they're running down below to help maintain our pH numbers throughout the course of the day. Another great point to mention about these refugium spaces is this is a great way for you to grow a more ornamental algae instead of growing out nuisance algae. So this is an area where you can have some nicer, more ornamental species kind of outcompete those nuisance algae in your tank. So if you have an area where it's dedicated for these algae to really grow and thrive, then hopefully you can outcompete the other algae throughout the entire system. Another added benefit when it comes to cultivating out macroalgae in a home system is the ability to, if you have any herbivores in your tank, whether it be tangs, rabbitfish, fish of that sort, you can bring it out of your refugium, add it into your tank, maybe put it on an algae clip, and they'll enjoy adding that into their diet, because I think, mixing up the different species of algae that your fish are getting is really good to get a varied diet, and I think they'll really enjoy having that as a snack as well. Another style of system I feel can really benefit from adding in macroalgae are anemone tanks. I think a lot of the time people wonder what kind of corals or things they can add into anemone only systems, and they're wondering, I'm scared that a lot of my corals are going to get stung up by my anemones. So macroalgae is a great thing you can add into systems to add a little bit of splash of color and texture as well if you're looking at doing an anemone dominated system. One thing I mentioned earlier was the opportunity to utilize macroalgae in more of a display format. As you guys can see here on my desk, where I work every single day, is my little 9-gallon tank that I've utilized and made a little mixed reef tank. I have a lot of different algae in here. I have Pom Pom, I have Hypnia, I have a little bit of the red ogo. I've got all kinds of different species in here, but I wanted to showcase how a tank can look a little bit more natural and still look really nice when utilizing macroalgae and filling in a lot of different spaces. If you guys want to learn more about this tank and maybe see a little bit more in-depth tank tour, let me know down in the comments down below. Now let's make our way back into the farm and check out some of the species we actively cultivate here at Top Shelf Aquatics. One of our most popular and widely used macroalgae that we grow here at Top Shelf is going to be our dragon's breath macroalgae. This is a well-known one from us here, and it tends to be one of our favorites to utilize in refugium spaces throughout all of our facilities. One that tends to like a little bit more blue worked into its light schedule and really helps pull out the vibrant burnt orange on the tips of this algae. Obviously, it got its name in reference to its growth structure, how it looks, and the coloring on it as well. One that also seems to do better when it gets to tumble and move around. One main reason why we feel that tumbling is so beneficial for a lot of these species we're going to be talking about is due to the fact when it's moving around, it allows the light to hit the entire macroalgae on all different sides and angles, allowing the light to hit every different side of it, as well as keeping detritus and things like that from accumulating on top of it from hindering its growth. A newer addition to our inventory as of late has been the atomic broccoli, one that we snagged from Colin over at Coral Morphologic. The appearance on this one is really out of this world, with some brilliant speckling that you can see under a bluer light that really makes it pop. You can see it's got that glitter throughout the entire form of it. A macroalgae we have seen that grows really well both tumbling and in baskets, but I feel gets the best growth when it gets to tumble in a refugium space. I feel this is obviously one that can be really nice and can look great in both a display refugium system, if that's one that you're trying to set up, but also can be one that you grow out and utilize in the display. This is one that I'm really excited about getting a refugium going at my home tank because I'd love to get a nice batch growing inside of there. Blue Hypnia is a well-known macro at this point in our hobby, purely due to its amazing blue coloring, and it's been around for quite some time. A much more rigid algae in structure, and it grows much more in a matting style. This is an algae that enjoys both a wider spectrum and a blue spectrum, but you can really see the iridescence in the coloring when it comes under that white lighting. I would consider this one to be more unique, but a slower grower when it comes to our algae on this list. But I think once again, in an area that it can kind of get a hold, it can really get going. I have always really liked Blue Hypnia, and I feel this is an obvious candidate as to be one of the more ornamental algae that we can utilize in maybe macroalgae systems or in our home aquariums. Chaetomorpha, one that we all know and love. This is probably one, if not the most effective algae on our list when it comes to refugium situations, especially if you're able to get a nice tumble going on with this algae species. It'll grow rapidly in size in no time, and it'll be taking over a lot of the nutrients that are available in the water column. This is a great species also to use in algae reactors and pieces of equipment like that, like scrubbers, due to its rigid structure and ability to grow in spaces such as that. This is one that we enjoy to put more under a bright light spectrum, and it'll really soak all of it up. A great algae too to provide a lot of habitat for your microfauna to proliferate in. Pom Pom Algae is a brilliant red species that can be seen as both functional and ornamental. When kept under proper conditions, this is an algae that can be quite the fast grower, a nice species to bring a splash of color to either the refugium or a display. Another great benefit of this one is that tangs and other herbivores will enjoy having some of this as a snack. So if you're looking to do some pruning, Pom Pom Algae can be a nice addition to any herbivore's diet. Red Ogo is another one on our list, and the last one we'll be talking about today, and it holds a lot of the similar traits and aspects as Pom Pom Algae. A gracilaria as well, but this one grows in a different structure as much more pointy fronds. Another addition of some nice color and texture to both your tank or refugium. Obviously, any of these algae we've been talking about today in our video, if you're looking at grabbing some, starting up your own refugium, getting them into your display tank, or maybe even starting out your new macroalgae project, if you want to grab some up today from us here at Top Shelf Aquatics, head over to our website and we have a bunch available for you guys to purchase. Well, we've talked about it throughout the entire video, but I want to kind of hammer it home once again. Macroalgae is very versatile and it can be used in many different ways in your home reef systems, whether it be feeding your tanks, whether it be in your refugium soaking up nutrients, or maybe you're setting up your own dedicated macroalgae tank. I had a lot of fun talking about one of my favorite aspects of the hobby. I've kept many macroalgae only systems in the past, so I was really excited to make this video today, talk about that aspect of macros as well, and share it with you all. If you guys have hung out all the way throughout the entire video, I want to say thank you so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future uploads.